Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to settle an age-old debate. Not the one between chicken and the egg and who came first, but the one that's troubled investors for a long time. Yep, you guessed it. It's the debate between stocks and real estate. Which one of the two is the better investment? But before we go any further, I would like to pay my respects to one of my idols who recently lost his 4-year battle to cancer right at the peak of his life. Chadwick Boseman, or King T'Challa as I prefer to call him. You're a true fighter and your legend will always live on. Your movie roles transcended the big screen and left a lasting imprint on pop culture. As an African man myself, I believe you told our story the right way, about a land unknown to the Western world filled with so much wealth and untapped potential. You showed us what it meant to be a man who stood for whatever he believed in, regardless of customs or tradition. Rest in peace, brother. I still hope I get a chance to meet you, but obviously in a place outside of time or space. Also, MCU, we gotta keep the story of Black Panther going on, so call your boy up. I could play his long-lost son or brother. Boy, if you don't... So back to the video, stock versus real estate. From my own personal experience, what you should be investing in. I want to tell this story in a two-part story. First part, chapter 1, is about my experience with real estate investment. Second part, chapter 2, is about my experience with stock market investing. So back in November of 2019, I had some money saved up and I decided I was going to be a big-time real estate investor. At the time, I had a house I was already living in, so I decided I was going to buy a condo in the downtown of Indianapolis. So the condo at the time I was looking at was worth about $250,000, but after months of negotiating with the seller, we ended up selling for about $205,000. So I had to put down $45,000 for the down payment of this condo. This brings me to my first pro of real estate. Real estate is highly negotiable. You could run into a seller who is very desperate and he can give you the property for a low price. Stocks, on the other hand, you don't really get a chance to negotiate. You just have to wait till the stock gets down to your margin of safety and then buy it. On the other hand, this also brings me to my first con of real estate. Real estate is very capital intensive, meaning that you need a huge sum of money to start off, unlike stocks where you could start off with just any amount of money you want. After buying the condo, I decided I was going to do short-term rentals through the Airbnb app. I put in 10 grand to furnish the place, and once I had the place ready, I put it up on the app. I furnished the place to my standard of what I believe an Airbnb should look like. Brings me to my second pro of real estate. It's tangible. You can see it, you can touch it, you can taste it. You probably shouldn't because you might die, but hey, to each his own. You can manage it and you can control it. Stocks, on the other hand, is managed by a total stranger, and a total stranger can do whatever he wants with the company. On the other hand, the con to this is real estate is not completely passive unless you can afford to hire a property manager. You're gonna have to monitor your property, you're gonna have to take care of it, and there's a whole bunch of work you have to do that goes along with owning real estate unless you have a property manager to do this for you. On the other hand, stocks are almost completely passive. Once you do your initial research, what you have to do is buy the company, hold, sit back, kick your feet up, and just watch your company grow or fail. What? Back to my story. I set up my condo for $100 a night, and I also had a $35 cleaning fee per stay. I also had it set up to where I only hosted guests 15 out of the 30 nights in a month, meaning that once 15 nights got booked, I closed out the rest of the nights in that month. By the end of February, 2 months after setting up my Airbnb and having my first guest, I became one of the top hosts in Indianapolis. I'd hosted about 28 people at that time, and I was the only, and still am the only 5-star rated host in the state of Indiana. I was pulling in about $2,100 a month, and I was paying off my mortgage as quickly as possible. This brings me to my third set of pros and cons of real estate. Real estate, if done correctly, could provide huge, incredible cash flow. Stocks, on the other hand, they really don't provide as much cash flow. My $55,000 investment in this condo brought me $2,100 consistently a month. On the other hand, I recently invested $10,000 in Coca-Cola stock, but this only pays me $90 in dividend every 3 months, once a quarter. Compare these numbers and you can see for yourself. By comparison, this means my initial investment of $55,000 in my real estate investment would give me about $25,000 by the end of my first year. Stocks, on the other hand, using Coca-Cola as an example, since they are one of the top dividend companies, my returns is going to be $400 plus, assuming a 7% growth rate on my $10,000 investment. That's going to be a total of $1,100 in my first year, which is just an 11% return on investment compared to the 50% return on investment I was getting from my real estate investment. You can see how much cash flow difference stocks versus real estate provides me. Back to my story. In early March, the effects of the pandemic started to hit us and the nation started shutting down. And this led to most of my guests guests canceling. Initially, I had over $20,000 worth of booking for the whole year, but after the cancellations and everything getting canceled in downtown Indy, most of my guests canceled and this number dropped to $4,000. I was completely devastated. I felt like my business had completely failed. I couldn't have planned for this, so rather than feel sorry for myself, I decided I was going to find something else. I decided to give the stock market a try around late March, early April. I currently manage two portfolios, a day trading account and a long-term investing account. So today we're going to take a look at both of them and see how both accounts are doing. Our day trading account is currently valued at over $80,000. We initially started with $50,000, but we're up $28,000, which is about 55% at this point. This is incredible performance by any measure. Our strategy is to only trade in companies that we wouldn't mind keeping as investments. That way, if a trade goes bad, we can just turn it into a swing trade and hold for a little bit longer. I gotta say, I'm really impressed by the way this account is performing, and I look forward to the future of this account and how big it could grow. Next is our long-term investing account, which is currently valued at about $55,000. We're currently up about 18%, which is about $8,000 to $9,000. Strategy with this is we buy and we hold. We sit on this account for a long time. Hopefully in the future, we're gonna see how it performs. Right now, day trading is significantly outperforming long-term investing. We're gonna watch it, report it weekly, and see over time which one does better. When it comes to investing in real estate or stocks, the choice is really up to you, to be honest. They both have their pros and their cons, and some more pros and cons of investing in the stock market include the following. First, stocks are almost completely passive. Once you do your initial research, you buy stocks, you could decide to sit and just watch your company grow as much as possible. This is completely passive and this is awesome. The con to this is you have no control over it. A stupid manager could run your money down to the ground. Trust me, there are stupid managers out there, so you need to be careful with your investments. Stocks are also highly liquid, as you can buy them and sell them and get your money back at any time, anywhere, sitting on your couch or doing whatever it is you like to do. Real estate, on the other hand, it takes a while before you buy and before you sell. It's a huge process, and there's a bunch of taxes and payments and fees you have to make. Also, a pro for real estate, there's a bunch of tax deductions you could take advantage of if you own property. Stocks, on the other hand, they do not have as much tax deduction. The biggest tax break with stocks is just buying and holding, and then you get to pay a significantly low amount of tax to your profits. Also, when it comes to stocks, insider trading is a crime. You will be arrested if you get a tip from an insider on a stock. On the other hand, in real estate, this is actually encouraged. It's totally allowed. For instance, say there's going to be a mall being built in a region, in a rundown part of town. Real estate investors are allowed to tell each other about the mall being built, and that way investors can come in and buy houses or property around that location, because obviously a mall or say an Amazon factory is going to make the location go up in value. In summary, guys, it's really up to the investor which you prefer between stocks and real estate. In my opinion, currently I'm doing both, and I think most people, if you can afford it, you should try both. Diversify your investment as much as you possibly can. That being said, guys, if you made it this far, please go ahead and like the video. Comment down below if you have any questions. Feel free to ask whatever. I'm here to answer. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and I'll see you back in the next video. Thank you.